So today we've got some pretty cool tech from a company called Rokid, and this is about the idea of strapping a giant display to your face inside of some glasses. Now, what's key is how lightweight they are. The idea that you can put, what did they say, 200-inch display? I think it was 215, over 200 inches, like sitting out here inside of augmented space without the eye strain or fatigue because you have the built-in adjustments for whatever prescription you happen to have, if you have one. The ability to tint the background or cover up the background completely using shades. You can use this for work, you can use it for entertainment, and they've taken things a step further with this little device, the Rokid Station, because the Station allows for an entire Android TV experience without a smartphone. But there's plenty of compatible devices that can feed into the Rokid Max. I've seen this thing connected to the Steam Deck, for example, and what a comfortable experience that looks like. Lean back on the couch, single cable, and not having to hunch over your display. Also, it's a secondary monitor for people who do a lot of work on laptops. There's no battery inside the headset, so that means you save a bunch of weight on your face, and sometimes, hopefully, you forget you're even wearing them. It's got two little OLED displays, which are actually quite bright, and in this case, even have a 120 Hertz mode. So it's all packed up in this protective case, making it easy for travel. I mean, you could imagine the difference of trying to carry a secondary display and it's still not going to look as big as this does, and then this whole thing easily packs into your bag. So there are the glasses, and it's already got the shade installed, so that's included, it's not an accessory. When the shade is on, you get a completely blacked out environment, so when you open up your favorite movie, you can actually have that experience of sitting in like a pitch black, a dark movie theater with your display superimposed over 200 inches of entertainment. Now you've also got audio on here. It's going to fire right near your ears. Of course, you can connect external audio via headphones if you prefer, but this is going to be sufficient for most use cases so long as you don't need complete privacy. The nose piece is also adjustable so you can get the correct fit. And this is one that Will always mentions because he wears glasses. You can get the optimal magnification for each eye for maximum comfort. Inside the package here, there's some extras, including your Type-C cable and your extra nose pads. Now the Type-C cable actually plugs into the back of the headset right here, and it's a specialized cable with a right angle connector so that you have minimal cable tensions. Fit in here like this, and then go back behind your ear. Now there are some buttons on the device. You can control volume, brightness, and you can also toggle between 60 Hertz and 120 Hertz mode. Here's what they look like when you remove the shade. They have a futuristic aesthetic. Sure, they're gonna sit off your face a little bit and you're going to know that they are electronic glasses and they're not typical glasses, but the main thing here is the weight savings. Because many existing headsets, AR or VR, they tend to be heavy or they can get hot inside because they're sealed off. Whereas with these, it's an extremely lightweight experience. Just dial in your fit there. And you can imagine forgetting that you're wearing these if you happen to be on a flight or on a train, traveling, or even laying on your couch or in bed. Because these superimpose a display sort of in this region, it also kind of corrects your posture a little bit. So if I was working on a laptop, I can still see below via the bottom part of my vision. So I could see a keyboard that I was typing on. But then I'm gonna sort of stay in this position because the secondary display that I'm using is going to be fitting somewhere extremely large right around here. Now, what's cool about this entire ecosystem is they've thought of so many different ways in which you might want to interact with this display. I mean, that's really what it is. It is a giant wearable display. So you've got the Rokid Station, which is going to have micro HDMI and USB-C, and essentially this will work with any application that works on Android TV, including game streaming services. Then we've also got the Rokid Hub. If I wanted to connect a smartphone or a Nintendo Switch, I can still supply power and then have my output to my glasses. They've also got a voice-capable Android TV, OK Google remote control for controlling your streaming services. That's right, you're gonna be watching your Netflix and your YouTube and such. How about a USB-C to HDMI adapter? Last up, as far as accessories are concerned, there's an anti-slip strap Well, this is just like, you're gonna have this strap on there just to keep it around your neck when it's not in use. Okay, so the simplest way to use this is via smartphone connection. I think this is the way a lot of people are going to use it. So we just go ahead and slap that in, and then the other end is gonna go into, in this case, an S23, and immediately the device knows that I'm connected to an external display, and it asks, hey, do you wanna use Samsung DeX? Okay, sure. Well, I'm dialing in. I am dialing in my focus right now, getting dialed. So what I'm seeing Samsung DeX right now. I'm seeing an entire operating system here because I chose to launch it. Now, if I had a keyboard and mouse present inside of DeX, I could easily get work done on this large display. So I'm inside of AR now. Now, the way this touchpad works, it's not like pointing the device itself. Instead, your thumb is working like it's on a trackpad, and you can kind of select things in this manner. Video player, browser, cinema. Oh, cinema brings up YouTube, deep focus, music for study. Ooh, jellyfish. I'm gonna try the cover right now. Well, definitely when you have the shade on, you get a little more appreciation for the quality of the displays that are in here. The key is how lightweight they are. Yeah, 75 grams. Isn't quite as light as a pair of glasses, but it is way different than wearing like a typical VR headset. The display is filling the vast majority of my field of view from top to bottom. There's a little bit of space on the side of each eye. So I'm just scrolling YouTube right now, just like this. And if I want to select something, one finger and then tap. I'm getting an ad for Little Caesars Pizza. This really switches your mindset in terms of ergonomics because you're so used to sitting in front of a screen instead of wearing it. Therefore, contorting your body or neck or shoulders to conform to the location of that screen. When you're wearing the display, it's moving with me. So if I move around ever so slightly, the screen is coming too. And then the other part of it is just how much room would you need to have a display-like experience to what these can supply. And certainly it wouldn't go in a case like this and fit in a bag, and the display is not gonna go with you onto an airplane. Okay, so next let's check out the Rokid Station. And the premise here is that we can get our streaming, we can get our content without the need of a smartphone. So we won't have to be tethered in that way. Of course, we can still get our content from our smartphone to the glasses wirelessly by sending it to the station. This is also gonna act as a control for the device. Here's what the unit looks like. Obviously, there's some familiar controls here. We have navigation, back, home. We have a Type-C on the bottom, and then we've also got a micro HDMI for a variety of sources. Because it has a micro HDMI capability, it also means you can use this to stream to really any display. This will behave like a Chromecast on any connected display. This unit here actually has a built-in 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Okay, so we've taken some time to set everything up on this variety of devices and charge everything up. Let's go ahead and check out what this one looks like next. So it is asking me for the dedicated Android TV remote. The cool thing here, I guess, is that you can have this wireless remote to control the entire interface, and then you can tuck the station wherever you want. All right, so what I'm noticing here is you have a dual input method. You can either use this controller, which has your typical kind of Android TV inputs and your built-in battery and your HDMI output, or you can put this down, tuck it away somewhere, and have this wireless control with also a microphone or voice input, which obviously is very convenient for Android TV. Right now, this is super familiar for anybody who's utilized Android TV on an actual TV. It's exactly like that. What this does is free up the smartphone and the smartphone's battery, and instead, we're now using the station in order to feed through that smart TV experience. Now, the other thing we can do here is we can cast our display from our smartphone wirelessly to the station if that is a more convenient use case scenario. So I'm on YouTube right now. This looks great, by the way. How about Bugatti versus Model S plaid drag race? They know me too well. The next cool one is obviously gaming, and I did mention previously that you can use this with Steam Deck, but how about this? You can also use it with Nintendo Switch, and that's gonna be through this tiny little adapter here. You can see it has a couple of different icons, one for the headset and one for power. So we can power the device and send our USB output to the headset. because of course this USB cable is going to be carrying video. So now I'm having a Nintendo Switch experience, except way bigger and more comfortable than hunching over the unit itself. Now, obviously the best thing about the Switch is it's extremely portable. If you're having an extended gaming session and you're gonna be like laying down on the couch, I can just be like this and I can just be playing. What's the name of this game I'm playing? This is pretty cool. It's called Gunbrella. Ah, so that my umbrella can also block things. You have a sort of feeling that you're in the action here, you know? Like the soundtrack is sick too. All right, I'm getting far too lost in this. Hopefully we can get some footage of what that looks like, but just think of it as a really big display for your Switch. Last one that I wanna try out here is the laptop scenario for extended display. So I have keyboard and mouse. I'm gonna try to get myself some more screen real estate here. See how this goes. Now I can look down sort of the bottom portion. Oh, that's awesome, okay. So I can see my keyboard. I don't even need an external keyboard. I could just use this keyboard like this because it's perfectly on the bottom part of my vision. And then wow. You just look down when you're typing, but the difference is I don't have to hunch down here. I basically have my laptop display, but much larger and without bending over. Like that's essentially how this operates. Now, what if I take off and what's interesting is the display feels even larger when I superimpose it on a kind of a larger backdrop. And yet my mouse is still here. I can click on this video of Venice. And maximize it. So this is sort of a glimpse into the future. We all know that these are going to become more prevalent in our lives. The demand on these types of devices is not just going to be for entertainment, but for work as well. And that's where this versatility comes into play. And this is why compatibility is so important. The Station, which is primarily Android TV, primarily based on consumption. Obviously our phone is a mix of consumption and productivity. Our laptops, primarily productivity. And then we have gaming devices like the Nintendo Switch, which is for entertainment purposes, all of which are capable of integrating with the Rokid Max.